Hey gang, this is Andy at Falco Canine's Healthy Dog Network, and yes, we are still at the Super Zoo. Make sure and click on the link above that says Falco Canine TV for your free training report on how to train your dog with love and respect. And that actually will tie directly into something we're going to talk about a little bit later on. Because we're at John Paul Pet, where they have shampoos for your dog, right? Is there other stuff too?
Nope. Well, shampoos, conditioners, and wipes.
Great. And I'm with Gina Dial. I almost forgot. Gina Dial, who is our representative that we're talking to of John Paul Pet. And you have a great story that we're going to get to in a minute. But let's first talk about the product. What should people know about John Paul Pet shampoo?
John Paul Pet shampoo is, our tagline is tested on humans, but pH balanced for pets. So they are botanical products. They each are solution-based. So each one of the products solves a problem you're having with your pet using botanicals. They're highly concentrated, and they're awesome products.
What are botanicals?
Plant extracts, like things that we would recognize, like tea tree, like oatmeal, lavender, mint, all of those sorts of things. And they all have a medicinal type effect on the pet.
Our camera person, Sally, she actually is in the essential oil business, which is fantastic, which that ties, of course, all together. What a small world. What makes John Paul shampoo better than baby shampoo that people use for their dogs, or, other shampoos that are out there for dogs?
First of all, they're pH balanced for pets, which means they're milder. They're not as strong. You should not use human products on pets because it's going to dry out their skin. The number one reason pets go to the vet in the first place is dry, itchy skin. And so you do not want to use adult products. It's going to make it worse. So you use the pet products that are a milder formulation. Ours are very, very concentrated. They are botanical oils, so you cannot dilute them. You use them directly from, from the container, and they make you feel, because of the botanicals, the lather is so soft. It feels good to you as a person and to the pet. And I might add, because they're a milder pH, if you ever wanted to choose between the pet products and adult products for yourself, the pet products would work just fine.
I like the fact you brought up that it feels good to the human being, because part of the connection and the bonding that you can have with your dog is in the shampooing part. And, it's something that I don't think people do enough. You can't shampoo your dog every day, but you can shampoo your dog and do it yourself. People send the dog to the groomer, that kind of stuff. They're missing a great opportunity to connect with their dog. So I love that aspect of it. What is the difference between your pet shampoo and another pet shampoo? We talked a little bit about using human shampoo, but is this better than all the other pet shampoos that are out there?
Ours is very, very concentrated, and the botanicals are the best botanicals you can buy in the world because we are related to the Paul Mitchell Company. So when Paul Mitchell creates a product, and because they are so large and so successful, they buy the very best and huge amounts of these botanicals. So we have access to those botanicals.
There you go. That answers the question completely. So when I think of John Paul, right? lost it for a second. John Paul, I think it should be expensive. Is it affordable for the average pet dog owner?
Our product is actually middle of the road. It's about $10.95 MSRP and 16 ounces, which is typical. It's not overly expensive, and it's not overly inexpensive.
Well, that's like, dog food. I tell people all the time that you need to spend a little bit more if you want the health benefit and not have to take your dog to the vet. It's more expensive to take your dog to the vet and buy cheap food, right? You're buying cheap food, but you have to take your dog to the vet all the time. If you're using crappy shampoo, your dog's going to have the itchy skin. You're going to go, hey, what's wrong with my dog? He keeps itching. Right?
Exactly.
So is there anything else about the product? Because I don't want to leave the product yet unless there's one other thing that we haven't talked about.
We are going forward next year with even more botanicals, wild ginger, lavender, mint. But what we're finding out about these botanicals is they have a different and better benefits for pets than they do for humans, because there are other things that they do. And for instance, lavender, which we all know, we all love, it's a soothing product, but fleas hate lavender. Well, in a human situation, hopefully it doesn't matter in a shampoo, but for a pet, that's a really big deal. So it's the botanicals, and we're going forward with more and new products with more botanicals in them.
And we put the website on the title. And so people can just click on that and visit and go there. This is a great program that you have here. This is almost as exciting as your product. That might even be a little bit more exciting than your product.
Awesome.
All right, tell us a little bit about this program.
How wet should I get my pet? Do I show this? Okay. This is how wet should I get my pet? What this is a really fun way to teach people how to safely bathe their pets at home. And these are just some, I worked with a lot of different groomers and said, what are some tips on handling your pets, handling the pets safely so that they don't fall, they don't slip in the tub? What can we do? So, and it's funny, you just said something that I want to go back to about shampoos and conditioners. When you use shampoos and conditioners on your pets, you've got to rinse it out properly. If you do not, it's going to make your situation worse because they'll get itchy and the dirt will stick to the residue that's left in their fur. So that's one of the tips, is rinse all of that shampoo. Make sure you rinse all the shampoo and the conditioner out before you dry them. But there's
one quick thing, because I had the question and I completely went away, but now it just came back as you're talking about that. In many instances, I remember, as a kid especially, that I felt like I had to use a ton of shampoo on the dog to get the suds, because you get it all in the back, right? And then by the time you got to the belly, you had no suds, so now you had to pour another half bottle on the stomach. How is the shampoo that you make? Does it spread further? Do you have to use a ton of
the dog first, and then you massage it in, and as you massage it, it's where the bubbles are going to bring the dirt and the oil up to the surface. Those are the sulfates, and then you rinse it out, and there goes the oil and the dirt. But you do not need to use a lot. I once, when I first started working with this company, got this product, had my dog outside, thought I'm going to give him a bath. I opened up the lid and I poured it down his back. I was rinsing suds for days. I couldn't get it out because I used way too much. So our problem is we have a 16-ouncer, and it goes so far that people don't have to go buy it again for a long, long time. So
yeah, I remember using almost the whole bottle on the dog.
Anyway, let's go back to this. So you read. This is so much fun. You read all of these tips, and then you take the quiz. So you take the Bathing Basics quiz. It just kind of reviews what you just learned, and then you get a shampooologist certificate. So you are a certified shampooologist once you take the quiz. And once you go through it, so you can put your name in there, you can frame it, you can hang it up, and you can be a shampooologist.
You know what I like about this? I'm kind of laughing because I do have online training programs for human beings and their dogs and that kind of stuff. And one of the ones I'm putting together currently is dogs and kids. It's dog and kid training, and this would fit perfectly into that training. So I'm gonna. Would you mind if I use the brochure and then somehow we can send them to your website, mail? All right, that's awesome. That works perfectly. So I like that it looks like a Dr. Seuss little design there.
Well, last year when they released the Dr. Seuss book, What Pet Should I Get? I just thought that was so cool, and I love Dr. Seuss. So I had the picture in my mind, and I called up the illustrator, and I said, this is how I want it to look, and he said, how wet should I get my pet? I mean, it was just so much fun.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit about Cooper. Who's Cooper?
Cooper, it's a little bit of a story. Cooper is a dog that, when my dog Bailey passed away, I wanted this dog. He was a rescue. I found him. I couldn't have him right away. And in the meantime, a friend of mine dropped off an Australian Shepherd in my yard, and this particular dog was deaf, which is kind of fascinating on its own, because how do you work with them? And I sent him to a trainer who taught him obedience through sign language, and it's American Sign Language. And when I came back from a trip and I picked him up, this was a different dog, because this deaf dog could now communicate. So it was time for me to pick up Cooper, and I decided to keep the deaf dog. And so as a result, I had to find a home for Cooper. And so I did. I networked on Facebook, and from that comes something else called the Pals that we'll get to, but I did find a friend to take Cooper. And when I learned about Cooper, who was 18 months old, and everything he had gone through, he had almost been euthanized. He had gone to a home, and then the woman got very sick and had to leave. This little pup, at 18 months, had lived in 4 different places. And he was going to be euthanized just because he was frisky. And so we created the story of Cooper, and Helping Tales Publishers created the rhyming part of it. I wrote the story. They created the rhyme. They created the book. It's an activity book, and it also talks about the plight of rescue pets and what they go through in their lives. And so Cooper is now our mascot for our PALS program. The PALS program came into existence because I needed to find a place for Cooper, and so I networked through Facebook, and then people started coming to my Facebook page to find pets, and I thought, okay, this isn't working. And so we created 50 pages, one for each state. That's John Paul Pet Pals dash whatever your state is, and we asked people to join the group and upload pictures of lost, found, and adoptable pets. And then we will donate $1 to Morris Animal Foundation. And so currently this is growing, and this is so awesome because it's a grassroots kind of a program. We don't do anything but vet the people. We have one person who works full-time making sure that the people who want to join are real people, and then lets them join. And then they start around the 4th of July when dogs run away because of the fireworks. They start posting. We have put so many dogs back with their owners in every state, and we see it because we see what's happening on these 50 pages, but we don't do anything but have our name on the pages, and they know to come to the PALS, which stands for Passionate Animal Lovers, by the way.
I should have known that. On the front of this box, which is a set, right? You got the shampoo and the conditioner.
Very unusual for the pet industry. This kind of comes from our beauty industry roots. And so this is a box set that has Cooper on the front, but it's a flat Stanley program. So you can punch him out, and on the back it tells you, take Cooper home for the holidays, take your picture with Cooper, upload it to social media, and again, we will give $1 to Morris Animal Foundation. So this is a really cool box. I love it because Cooper's on the front, and of course I love Cooper, and it's awesome.
Outstanding. You said something earlier that caught my attention. You said he was going to be put down because he was frisky. I would have been put down long ago.
Well, somebody stop them.
How horrible.
I know.
It's not a bad trait to be frisky. Okay, so how do people where do they find your shampoos? Any pet store usually?
Yeah, most of the pet stores have them. You can find them online. You can Google and find there's some good prices online as well. And right now, when you do order online and in the stores, you can pick up the little tips on a card. So it's not the whole book, but here.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to use that. Is it off? Back on? Definitely going to use that for the kids' pet training program. That's really cool because I think they'll be attracted to it because of the way that it looks, and a really good program. Great job with all your marketing. Great job with the product.
So exciting. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, guys. We will see you at the next one. Take care. Thank you very much.